we talk about leadership. I realize that a lot of people only talk about leadership as long as it keeps them safe, right? And
Mm.
I'm gonna tell you what I mean about that. I'm gonna tell you what I mean by that. I said it in one of my videos, right? It's easy to sit back and say, you know what? We're just going to do this because we're told to do this, and we have to do this because we have to worry about our career, and we have to worry about our families, and we have to do all of this, even though we can turn around and look at each other and say, damn, man, this don't seem like it's right. It seems like it's
Yeah.
only forced towards this. But this is the thing, though. When is someone going to stand up and take the sacrifice and take the hit to say, y'all know what? This is not right, and I'm not rocking with it. Because think about it. As Black Americans, where would we...
What up, everybody, man? Welcome to another episode of the CamoTalk podcast, man. And today I got a special guest, man. Somebody I've been want to talk to for a minute, man. Mr. Unfuckwitable, aka Sergeant First Class Douglas, aka Mr. Go High and Go Low, aka Not One of Them, man. How you doing?
Hey, bro, and I love that introduction.
Man, it's deserving of it, man. Deserving of it.
Yeah, man, I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. Dealing with some family issues and stuff right now, but other than that, man, I can't complain, man.
Man.
I love the not one of them introduction, though. I really love that. It's
Yeah,
dope.
man. I remember that was kind of like my first introduction to you, to be honest with you. I remember that's my senior made a video and he was talking about people who need to start a podcast. And I remember he pointed you out and you was like, yeah, I got something in the works, man. And I'm not one of them. And I'm like, man, that's it right there. That's
Oh
it.
yeah, yeah. I got that.
Yeah.
That's coming soon. That's coming soon. And
Yeah,
not
man.
for those who don't know, I got the Not One of Them podcast. The name Not One of Them is also my clothing label, my clothing brand as well. So I got some clothes coming out under that name, and then my podcast will be called uh Not One of Them podcast for obvious reasons, as you stated.
Oh, yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Very dope, man. I would love to be a part. Extend the guest invitation out to me, man. I would love to be on it, man. Chop it up with you.
Oh, absolutely. You already know it's coming back full circle. You already know.
For sure. So for all the people who don't know who you are, man, all the people who might know you in real life, who might not know you on in the Meal Talk space, just go ahead and introduce yourself, man. Give us a little background of who Sergeant First Class Douglas is.
So hey, so obviously y'all know me Army wise by Sergeant First Class Douglas, but my name is Jamarcus Douglas. I was born in Laurinburg, North. Well, I was originally born in Darlington. I was supposed to have been born in Sherrall, but the hospital was getting sued at the time, so they had to fly my mom to Darlington, South Carolina, where I was then later born. And then shortly after that, my mom moved to North Carolina, right outside of Fayetteville, where I grew up at. You know, and that's the place that molded this individual that I am today.
Okay, okay. So
Yeah.
you from a military family? You got any military background, anything like that?
No. So I never grew up in a military family, never really cared about anything military related. At one point in time my mom did start dating my stepdad, who was a prior Marine. And he came into our lives, I think I want to say when I was roughly around 10 or 11. And he was kind of that father figure to me, introduced me to playing sports, lifting weights, and just gave me that discipline I needed to grow as a man. So yeah.
So that was kind of like your first insight, but you already had like a background in discipline as far as sports and things like that.
Oh yeah,
Because
absolutely, absolutely.
because I mean the discipline aspect goes come through a lot of the things that you talk about and just a lot of the things that you post. Your your workouts, when you put on your uniform, the way that you present yourself and things like that. So discipline is truly there. So when we talk about you coming up in the military, like what was life before you made that decision to say, you know what, this is what I'm gonna do?
Okay, so before, like I said, I never thought about going to the military. Never even crossed my mind. As a matter of fact, when I was a football star. So
Mm-hmm.
when I was getting letters from different colleges, I actually got offered by West Point. And my mama seen the letter with the Army logo on it, and she ripped it up to shreds and was like, absolutely not,
This
right?
ain't what we doing.
Yeah. She didn't care about anything else. She just seen the name Army, and it was a quick no.
Mm.
But even with me, it was one of those things that it was not one of those things I was even looking into, because I was thinking about I wanted to go, play for a major D1 college or whatever. So I wanted to go play for that major D1 college. So like I said, she ripped that up for me, and I ended up signing a full scholarship to Western Carolina University, right outside. We're right in Cullowhee, North Carolina. It's right outside of Atlanta, like on the borderline.
Right.
And after that, I did some time there. Did 2 years there. I transferred down to the University of North Carolina of Pembroke, which is like right out here in Lumberton, North Carolina, like right down the road from Fayetteville State. And finished there, pledged Omega Psi Phi in
Okay.
2011. So cute all. Shout outs
Hmm.
to the bros. But after that, man, I was looking into going into the NFL. I wanted to go into the NFL,
Hmm.
and a tragedy happened in my life to where I ended up getting shot 3 times. So, yeah, man. So after that, it was one of those things where my headspace wasn't right because my upbringing of how we grew up in the streets, and I was one of those type of people that I was in the streets, but I wasn't in the streets. It was one of those things like I was in the streets because I had to be in the streets to protect myself and my friends whenever we went out. But when my uncle and them would find out I was in the streets, it was like, oh no, get it, you going to play football, you blah blah blah. So it
Cause
was
you're
like,
supposed to be the one.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So yeah, so that's how they treated me. It was like one of those things like stop being a knucklehead, stop hanging
Yeah.
out with these individuals. You're going to go do this. So I was able to, walk that tightrope of not getting in trouble, but still being able doing both. Right. So
Hmm.
when I got shot, man, like my mindset just wasn't there. My body recovered just fine. I was supposed to take my whole senior season. I was supposed to take my whole senior season off and do a medical red shirt, which they were still gonna. My scholarship was still gonna pay for my school. All I would have to do was just go to class, get healthy, get back
Hmm.
right. And they told me we're gonna give you this season off, and they let me out of the hospital. And then I ended up going back to practice the very next week. So
You just don't sit down,
oh nah,
huh?
nah.
I
So
know how
yeah,
that is.
so
So,
so.
I like that you say that, man, because when people talk about sports, people never really talk about the athlete's grief. When you
Mhm.
spend all of your life trying to get to this one spot, the big leagues, the NFL, the NBA, the MLB, all of those, you spend your entire life trying to get to that point. And when you don't, it's almost like, what am I going to do now? And for
Absolutely.
and for those 3 shots to ruin your chance of getting to that next level, like, can you explain what your headspace was? Because I can only imagine how dark it possibly could have been.
Yeah, man. Like I said, the way the way I grew, I don't want to say like gangster. I don't want to say that because I don't consider myself a gangster because I always felt like I had like an end goal to things. But I
Right, right.
will say when you grow up in an environment to where if you slap me, I'm not turning the other cheek. Right?
Yeah,
It's what you do to me, we're going to do it in return, right? So it's one
yeah,
of those
yeah.
mindsets. So when that happened to me, it's like a lot of things happened at one time. So I could retaliate and throw my life away to the point to where I will probably have to see my daughter behind a glass wall,
Mm.
or I could get back into sports, try to still make this thing happen while still recovering my body and getting over the trauma of looking down the barrel of a dude that I could have easily reached out and touched how close he was, right? Like
Mm.
that's how close it was to me probably possibly losing my life if he wanted to take my life. And then, I got my mom in my ear. She's talking about, you need to be smart. I know you want to do this. It makes you mad. So when you have that, when you've been putting all this work, all this time, all this effort into trying to do what's going to help you and your family succeed and get away from the environment that you grew up in, to have it flush down the drain, man, it's one of those things to where you start thinking about the craziest things you could try to do.
Mm.
Like, I got people at home that's in the drug game. I can easily get into the drug game, easily do that, make that fast, easy money. I could easily go turn into what my environment wanted me to be, which is like a stick up boy robbing the dude. I could have did so many
The
things,
easy
man.
route.
Like the easy route.
Hmm.
But I want to say it was that level of discipline that we talked about with sports, right? Because it makes you understand how important opportunities are and how within that 1 second, right? All it takes is that 1 second to make a bad decision that you'll regret for the rest of your life. Right.
But
And so yeah,
think
man.
about the blessing of being able to see past that anger, to see past that hatred, and now look back and be like, man, I really made the right decision. This is what comes with having something to lose. Even being born in those environments and knowing the type of things that you've dealt with and the things that you can do, still having something to lose really
Yeah.
put life in perspective. Because if you wasn't playing sports, if you didn't have all this, if you didn't have a end goal, the easy thing would have been to, I'm not gonna let this go. I'm not gonna let this happen. You know what I'm saying? Let me
Absolutely.
go find this guy.
Absolutely.
And then now, like you said, you'd have been seeing your daughter through a glass. Your mother, the streets would have forgot about you.
Oh yeah.
It
Absolutely.
ain't no legacy for street dudes at all. That's what people got to understand, man. I try to explain to a lot of soldiers, man. It's a difference between being a hood dude and a street dude. When you in the
Right.
hood, you got options. You just born there.
Right.
You
Absolutely.
still within the environment of all of the bad things. But when you a street dude, you are a victim of the streets. Your
Yep.
survival is in the streets. This is all you know. I got best friends. That is all they know. You know what I'm saying? And I kind of want to double back to talking about sports and talking about uh you being in a frat and things like that, right? Two of my biggest regrets in life, not playing sports and not joining a fraternity. Because I
Right.
feel like you said, man, when you play sports, you have that end goal. When you play sports, you have that it gotta get done attitude.
Yep.
In my life, it's so easy for me to quit things because I never was in that organization that showed me you gotta see it through.
Yep.
Like even if you down bad, you tired, you feel like you gave your all, you still got to do it all for the team.
Yep.
So I feel like that was one of the things that really just kind of held me back. And I love that, like, even when you in the military doing your thing, you still speak on sports. You still speak on discipline and athleticism and things like that. And even when it comes to the joining a fraternity, man, like, can you explain what was the stepping stones to get to that point? Like, because I mean, being street dudes ain't trying to join no organizations. That ain't even because I'm gonna tell you, bro. When I was growing up, I thought joining a frat was the lamest thing a person can do. Cause
Yeah.
I'm looking
Yeah.
at, I'm like, man, y'all so square. But then
Yeah.
now, as an adult, I see that brotherhood. I see that relationship. I see how people have each other, and it's this unwritten code and this unwritten language that only y'all understand. And I'm like, bro, if you don't have that, I feel like you're missing out on such a important part of life. You know what I'm saying? It's not necessary for everybody. Don't get me wrong, but
Yeah.
my kids, I'm a push them like go find you a brotherhood. You know what I'm saying? Because you're gonna need that in adulthood. So what
Mhm.
was your mindset when you say, you know what, I'm gonna do this?
So for me, I was just I was just like you. I was like, yo, frats, all this other. I was like, yo, that's lame. But it's the think about it on the other spectrum, right? It's the same way as a hood dude. You look at people that go to college. Oh, you're
Yeah,
square, right? You're
yeah,
square.
yeah.
What people really don't understand is some of the most gangster people are in college. So
Oh man.
hey, so I'm
Yeah.
gonna tell you. So I'm gonna tell you, right? So when I transferred to the University of North Carolina, Pembroke, I met one of the guys who actually pledged me into the fraternity. His name is Mike Moot Williams. He's also an All American wrestler. We call him the All American Ace because he's the first and only All American at the University of North Carolina, Pembroke, like plastered all over
Mm,
the wall and everything, right?
big
So
dog.
I had already wanted to look at the possibility of becoming a Q dog because one of my mentors was a Q dog. He was my football coach in high school. His name was Pat Williams. So he was, we would always see like the purple and gold horseshoe. At the time we didn't know what it was. We called it a horseshoe, but it's an omega
Mm,
sign. So we would see
right.
the purple and gold, and we would like, yo, we would mess with him. We'll throw the hooks up, and he'd be like, hey, don't do that. It's a lot
Yeah.
of, it's a lot of pain and punishment. And so we was like, what are you talking about? So I had an interest in doing it, and when I met my boy Mike, he was a full fledged gang member. He was a blood, like dude was
Mm,
a blood. So me and him, I think it was one of those things that to where I walk in the room, I think I'm the shit. Regardless of what you feel. He was the same way. He walk in the room, he think he the shit. He want all the attention. So we didn't get along at first. And then one day,
mm,
man, we was having a conversation with each other. And he was talking about gang life, and I was talking about, how I grew up, and then we started talking about fraternity. And I was like, that's crazy that we talk about this now because I've been thinking about doing Omega Psi Phi. He was like, oh,
mm,
word? He was like, yo, come to my crib at this time, blah, blah, blah. So I went to his crib. Uh we started looking up, like, the founders, the principles of the organization and all this other jazz, and we started actually studying together. So he was the
Hmm.
one that actually took my interest over the top. And it's like, yo, it's crazy how two people that come from very bad environments, like he was from Patterson, New Jersey, you know what I'm
Hmm.
saying?
Oh man,
So
come on
yeah,
now, New
so
Jersey
so
Devils.
exactly. So so you talking about people that come from the worstest of the environments can link together and come and be like, okay, the reason why this is important, because one, it goes back to that discipline thing. Not only being disciplined, humble.
Hmm.
Being humble and being and what it learned and what it means to be, no, what it learns to have humility, right?
Yeah.
I really learned that, like, first person.
Hmm.
So when you get into those type of things and you don't know exactly what you're walking into, because all you heard is stories, you don't know what's going to
Yeah.
happen from night to night. But I will say, becoming a part of that organization, right? Regardless of what people think it is, regardless if you think it's about females, regardless if you think it's about connections, if you think it's about partying, understand that there's two sides of that, right? You have what we call undergrad, which are those of members that are still in college. That's called undergrad. And then once you graduate college and you get into what's called graduate life, which is the grad chapters of, like, people that are, got their careers going. What we got, Tau Gamma Gamma here, that's right here, the 82nd Airborne. They call themselves the Airborne Qs. And you're
Hmm.
talking about people who own businesses or in law or in the comedic space, the news, the sports anchor space. You talk about Shaq, you talk about Michael Jordan, you talk about Steve McNair, you talk about all these famous athletes that are in the NFL, the NBA, so you think about it. How do you think that looks whenever you go, you know what, man, I'm finna graduate college and I want to get into some type of law degree? And a bro say, yo, you know what? Have you ever met bro Ron Crosby? Got his own legal practice down here in Fayetteville, North Carolina. Hey, I'm gonna shoot you his number. Hit him up and let him know what you're gonna do. Now you roll straight into that position because of the organization that you pledge and the respect that you gain from that brotherhood, right?
Your network is your network. Your network is your network for real.
Absolutely.
I
So
told my nephew. My nephew went to college and he was talking about pledge and something. I said, man, so many famous people that you know, so many successful people you know have pledged something. So
absolutely.
don't look at how you see it now. Look at what you can see it become. So many
Absolutely.
successful people do that, and just to have, like you said, just to have that connection. That's your way in. Sometimes you got
Right.
to already have those doors open before you set foot into real life.
And and it's crazy because growing up, I'm gonna tell you how crazy. Growing up, my one of my favorite players, Michael Jordan. Growing up,
Mm.
I never knew why Michael Jordan was hitting shots with his tongue hanging out his mouth. Everybody thought it was just a thing. Everybody like, oh man, he got his tongue hanging out his mouth. Oh man, he's just doing. No, he was. That's the sign of the bros, because we
I
dogs. You know what I'm
I'm just not knowing this now. This is
saying? For
you
real?
just gave me education. I did not know Michael Jordan was a bro
Yeah,
at
yeah,
all.
yeah.
Oh, that's crazy.
He
I
plays
would
at
have never,
he plays at the University of North Carolina.
man.
hmm
I would have never guessed that. See,
Vince
education, man.
Vince Carter.
Oh yeah, now I knew Vince Carter. I knew
Yeah,
Vince
so
Carter. Yeah,
it's
I love to
powerful.
see that, man, and that goes back to culture. So imagine the culture shock of a person like you coming from the streets, a person like
Mhm.
you being in this organization, having your background. What was it like when you first came into the military, man, and just seeing that everybody isn't like me?
So it's crazy because having the football background, going through the actual process of becoming a member of Omega Psi Phi, which is a
Mm,
conversation for another day.
mm,
When I went into basic training was a joke to me, because I looked at it I looked at it as in a way of, I've done things harder than this, right?
mm.
The only difference now is y'all are waking me up earlier, making me do a different type of PT. But if you play sports, it ain't no difference than waking up going to morning conditioning. It ain't no
Yeah.
difference than waking up going to weightlifting, coming back for 2 days. So for me, the physical aspect, I had it already. I just had
Mm,
to convert having those football muscles work, of having that short stints of energy, because you get plays off and stuff, to now
right.
going into more of a cardiovascular endurance. But then when it comes to my mentality, I'm used to being away from home. I've been at college ever since I
Mm,
turned 18 years old. I played college football. I've been away from my mom. I've been away from my family. I know the discipline of sports, and then going through the process of being a member of Omega Psi Phi, how hard it was
mm.
to be out there some of those nights. And I'm talking about you go in at 10 and like you not walking back into your house until 7:30 in the morning and still got to go to class at 8:15 and then got to do that shit all over again the next night and then not knowing when your process is over. Like I've done that.
So
So
you
for
was
me,
broken down and built up way before you
way
raised that
before that,
hand.
I'm telling you, basic training to me was summer camp. And I went
Oh man.
and mind you, I went to infantry basic training. It was summer camp to me. Like it was summer camp, man. It's like
Mm.
like y'all literally can't do anything to me that I can take and be like, oh man, yo, this is breaking me down. Man, I ran that place like it was a prison. Man, we was in there selling MREs. I kept my cell phone for a good minute. I was selling phone calls, $50 a phone call. Man, I'm talking about I
And
had my
take
little
them out the streets. Can't take the street. But it's that mentality though.
it was
It's
all
what you
about a
learn.
way.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you got to build somewhere, man.
Right,
So
right.
you
And
you say you say you had the physical aspect down, the mental aspect down, but what about the social aspect? Especially, when we talk infantry, very few. It's a very small demographic of black men. So what was it like? You in your basic training class? How many people? How many black people was in your class?
in my platoon, it was 56 of us. And out of black people, it was only 3 of us. So in my whole basic training, so we got 4 platoons. In my whole basic training company, it was only 12 of us, and every platoon had like 50 something people in it. It was only 12 black individuals.
I'm gonna tell you, I have this mindset where it's like, and it's not this fear or paranoia. It's just this thing of I don't ever want to be in a place where I'm outnumbered by a certain something. You get what I'm
Right,
saying? Because anything can be said about you, and there's more people to agree with them. Anything can be done to you, and there's more people to say that no, it was his fault.
right,
So how
right.
how was it like? How was it? Did you and those 3 other black men link up, or like was it any hardships?
So it was you have you have the people that don't like you just because you're more physically they think you're more physically gifted than them because
Mm,
they don't see the work that you had put in to get there. They don't A lot of these guys, man, let's be real, Camo. A lot of these people, they don't go through no adversity before joining the military. Some of these
oh,
people
not
come
at
from
all.
they come from good homes, they come
Yep.
from good neighborhoods, they family got them gym memberships, they start off with great credit. I didn't have none of that. All
They
I
were
had
built
was
up
straight
from
up.
the military.
Exactly. So
Hmm.
when I link in with these other black individuals now, naturally we're gonna link because of the culture's the same.
Yeah.
We understand each other's culture, so it's easier to build that bond. But I had a few, white guys, Mexican guys that kind of clicked in with us as well because
Mm.
they understood our mindset because they came from those backgrounds as well. So that's the culture we talk about. And
Yes.
just from that alone, yeah, we was doing crazy things because we didn't have that military mindset yet, but once I got caught with my cell phone, and then I got in trouble for almost about to fight a drill sergeant, and I got a company grade Article 15, and
That put
my
things in perspective.
yeah, my senior drill came to me, man, because I got the Article 15 first, and they gave me 7 days extra duty. But
Mm.
the drills, they loved me so much that when I was short for extra duty, they would be like, Douglas, why you here? And I'd be like, man, I'm here for extra duty. And dude's like, all right, man, clean the classroom, get back and go get you some sleep. Like they
Mm.
was literally letting me off extra duty instead of me doing
Mm.
extra duty. So that goes into making sure that your soldiers do their punishment because now I see this and I'm like, oh, they don't care. Oh, I ain't straightening up because
Oh
they
yeah,
gonna
yeah,
slap me on the
yeah.
wrist. You see what I'm saying? It's
Mm-hmm.
accountability. So then I get caught with my cell phone. And when I got caught with the cell phone, one of the white guys in my platoon had snitched me out because he got mad because I wouldn't let him get a call that night because it was already late and I had already
Mm.
stashed it away. So he ended up telling on me, and my senior Staff Sergeant Chow loved that man to this day, and I wish I can find him somewhere in the military. He brought me into his office, and the only thing he asked me, he said, "Listen," he said, I can get you in trouble for this to the point where we kick you out of the military, right?" And I said, "Absolutely, drill sergeant." He said, "Let me ask you." He said, Why did you decide to join?" I said, "Because I have a daughter." He said, "Okay." He said, "So this is the way that you're going to feed your daughter, right?" And I said, "Absolutely, because back home, I'm gonna go back to the streets. I know how that ends for me." He was like, "Okay." And he was like, so why did you decide to keep your cell phone? I said, because I felt like I still needed to have communication with my daughter's mom and my daughter. So that way, I'm able to do the things I need to do. And he was like, but you know it's the wrong answer? Absolutely. Whatever punishment you give me, I'll take it. This man looked at me. This man said, you know what? This man looked at me. He said, you know what punishment I'm going to give you? He said, I'm gonna make you the platoon guy. And I'm like, what? Like,
Hmm.
why? I was like, why? All he did was give me that little bit of responsibility and that sense of leadership, and it changed my whole perspective of the
Man, that's
military.
all it is sometimes. Like when you join the military, I feel like everybody who hasn't had that discipline or that leadership responsibility growing up, sometimes that's all we want. Give us something that we can see that, okay, this is serious.
Yep,
And like for you to say that I'm willing to accept whatever come with my wrongdoing. I'm not
absolutely.
blaming anybody, even though this person told on me, it's not on him, because if I didn't do wrong, he wouldn't have had
He wouldn't
anything
have
to
nothing to
say.
tell to. Exactly.
Yeah. So
Exactly.
so for them to see, and that's what it's about, man. I tell soldiers all the time, man, be accountable for your mistakes. Don't point the finger. Don't try to pass the buck. When people see that you are willing to take your hits, they know that you are willing to elevate. And I'm glad that you was able to have that moment, because I know people who got kicked out for,
Me too.
like, cell phone, little crazy stuff, and it's like,
Stupid.
was it worth it? You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And it's not. And I want to talk about culture again, man, because I said we were going to talk about culture and
Right.
not, being black. Because like
Absolutely.
you said, it was people, it was white people, it was Mexicans that came up the same way that you came up.
Yep.
So I wouldn't be CamoTalk if we didn't bring up the beard situation. it had to segue sometime, right? And you like when me and that's my senior did our episode, and we both agreed that when it comes to like the beard policy changing, we do feel like you can be the one. So
Right.
when that first came out, because it happened so fast,
Right.
first it came out the rumor, and everybody was saying how they felt. This ain't real. So we talking freely about it. And
Right.
then the policy came out, and then the conversation changed. So
Right.
when all
Right.
this dropped, like not only how did it affect you being a black man with a shaving profile, how did it affect you being a leader, knowing that you would have soldiers who have to deal with the same thing?
So this, and I think, Camo, I think this is what makes me different, right? When we talk about leadership, I realize that a lot of people only talk about leadership as long as it keeps them safe, right? And
Hmm.
I'm gonna tell you what I mean about that. I'm gonna tell you what I mean by that. I said it in one of my videos, right? It's easy to sit back and say, you know what? We're just going to do this because we're told to do this, and we have to do this because we have to worry about our career, and we have to worry about our families, and we have to do all of this, even though we can turn around and look at each other and say, damn, man, this don't seem like it's right. It seems like it's
Yeah.
only forced towards this. But this is the thing, though. When is someone going to stand up and take the sacrifice and take the hit to say, y'all know what? This is not right, and I'm not rocking with it. Because think about it, as Black Americans, where would we be today if Martin Luther King didn't take how many hits you think he took from doing the things he was doing? Remember, they was busting his windows out. They were
Had the
doing all these
dogs on them.
bro.
Yeah.
They were doing all these things to him that he could have easily just said, you know what? Just let like this the man, I gotta protect my family, man. Like this ain't
Hmm.
this is so much bigger than me. I'll let somebody else deal with it. But then it gets worse. And now they
Hmm.
start coming for other things. Now when it's time for you to talk, all the people that's just trying to make it to retirement, you just left an issue for a whole nother generations of soldiers to deal with. And I went
Hmm.
through something like this, an EO situation. I wasn't gonna, cause I'm from the streets. You don't tell on nobody. Whatever happens, it happens. You suck it up. You hold your chin up. You move on. Right?
Right.
I went through an EO situation, a real EO situation, not just calling somebody racist because I didn't get my way. It was a real EO situation. I wasn't even going to tell on the first sergeant. One of my mentors, a command sergeant major, black command sergeant major, Omega Psi Phi member, he
Hmm.
pulled me to the side. He said, listen, he said, now it's easy for me to reach out to your sergeant major to move you out of that position to give you a position over here because he was the command sergeant major for the Warrior Transition Battalion in Joint Base Lewis McChord. He was gonna.
Hmm.
I had already done my team leader time. I was an E5 waiting to pick up six. He was gonna give me a position until I went to recruiting school to get away from that first sergeant. Right? He said that's the easiest thing to do. But he said I want you to think about this. With all the evidence that you got against this first sergeant right now that you've been taking up for about a month or two, if you walk away from this situation, understand that you leave him to do the same thing that he's been doing to you and others. You leave it for someone else. That's what he told me.
Mm,
And once he told me that, I started to understand that sometimes when it comes to leadership and calling yourself a leader, sometimes you have to be ready to take what comes with it when it's time to say, nah, man, I'm just not rolling. Why? Because this ain't a fashion. Trust me, it's not a fashion thing. I went through
mm,
the pain of having the pseudophilitis Barbary, right? Like I went through that. I went through the process. I didn't fake my profile. So to think that just because things change, to just say, I'm gonna just cut it just because I got to worry about myself. Nah, because the whole time I've been in Camo, I've been setting myself up and repositioning myself to get out to do other things anyway. So if this is the way that I have to go down to make that stance, I just hope that I can't tell soldiers what to do because I don't know their situation. That's why I don't say don't do no. Do what is best for you. I seen
right.
a dude the other day walking around Camo. Man, if you would have seen his face, man, if me and you would have been eating lunch together, you would have looked at your plate and said, "I'm done eating."
Right. Oh
Bro,
man.
he had boils growing out of his neck, like to the point that when bro, I don't even want to think about it.
Mm.
But it's just things like that though, man. Like, when do we say something? Like, when do we stand up and just stop saying, protect yourself, worry about yourself? But then we'll turn around and we'll preach the same thing to soldiers to take care of each other, calling you my brother and all this other crazy stuff. It's just, I don't know, man. That's why my mindset is very different on this thing, bro. It just
and and
is.
and and I respect, I truly respect your perspective on that, and it really just kind of opened my eyes to it as well. Because like, yeah, it's easy to say, you know what, I got a family, I got kids, but that soldier who ain't got a voice is suffering, skin tearing up, confidence going low, morale ain't worth a damn, got to go home, ain't even recognizing. It's like sometimes, and what I really respect about the way that you speak up is you do it in a professional and attack manner. You know, it's easy
Right.
to get on here and be like, man, F white folk, y'all just hating and blase, blase. You know, we talk crazy and we get disrespectful to the point where they look at us as a mockery for the things that we feel like are important to us. But
Right.
I have not seen you get disrespectful. Now, I done seen you, engage humor with humor. You know what I'm saying? But I have never seen you got into a way where you get so disrespectful that it diminishes your message.
Right. Absolutely.
That's what I love to see. And another thing that First on Hamilton spoke on was the fact that we do need somebody in those rooms. We do need somebody in that room that's suffering how we suffering to be able to say, you know what, this ain't right. I am a firm believer that things won't really change until we get somebody in that room. So, do you feel like you will ever be that person, or you can lead that person to become that person that gets into that room?
I don't I don't I don't know if I feel like I don't know if I feel like I will ever be that person because I think my personality is too strong to the point where I just don't bow or take a knee to be the person to get into that room. When it comes to leading somebody else, maybe I can speak to certain individuals that'll help drive this conversation. But as you know, that goes back to that culture thing, man. The reason why we don't have people in those rooms is because you have individuals like just think about it. Look at how many times on this app you've seen high-ranking officers say, "Oh no, I got a shaving profile. I just don't use it because I'm worried about
Oh
my
yeah,
OEO."
oh man.
But so when do we ever get when do we ever get into the room if you're in the room already, you hear these conversations being talked about, you agree with it, now it just makes our white counterparts look at us and say, okay, so you can shave, then they all can shave. Because
Yeah,
this is the
oh
mindset.
man.
This is the mindset.
Yeah.
And you
Cause
and you clearly and you hear people talk about
you know
it.
how many you know how many videos and comments I seen where people saying I was in a unit and every person shaving. You telling me you can't? Like you acting
Exactly.
like we all have one skin that is just being ripped off and shared by a million people. But this goes back to the lack of understanding, man. And people have to be educated on these things. And even when when I first spoke on it, I was speaking about it from the black perspective and what I thought about it and how I,
Right.
I truly still feel that it is rooted in racism and lack of understanding of the black culture and black skin and things like that, right? But
Right.
somebody reached out to me and just kind of gave me game on like how the language that I'm using can kind of deter other soldiers, because like black people aren't the only black people that are suffering from or that need shaving profiles, right? Because like I
Absolutely.
said before, it's white people who have cystic acne that can't put anything to their skin.
Yep.
So I feel like it has to reach a point to where the military sees that this affects more than just the people who they feel are complaining. Oh, you
Yeah.
just want to say, and don't get me wrong. Now, I would be lying if I didn't say I looked at somebody and said, "It's no way that's within the left and right limits of your profile. It's no
Right.
way you have a profile." But I'm not a medical professional. I'm not that soldier's commander to be able to say you're in the wrong. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
if we want to have this change, we do have to get to a point where we aren't scared to correct soldiers. And
Absolutely.
in being black, being a black soldier, we have this unwritten rule. Nah, you got to look out for me even if I am doing wrong. Oh, you gonna
Right.
tell on me? Oh man, you cooning and all that type of stuff. But it's like, nah, we got to be able to hold. Because I was having a conversation with somebody the other day. It's like certain people do certain things around you because they know in your mind you think I'm not supposed to tell on this person.
Right.
And it's not about telling at all. It's just about I'm gonna hold you accountable the same way I expect you to hold me accountable.
Absolutely. 100%.
So
100%.
when it comes to being off the topic of culture, when it comes to being black in the military, what has been your experience from then to now?
Well, I can speak. I can only speak from being as an infantry soldier, right?
Yeah,
It's
and
not.
that's the perspective we want to know.
it's not. It's not easy. I'm gonna tell you now. It's not easy, and the reason why I say it's not easy because I've seen other of my black counterparts kind of turn into a chameleon to be somebody totally different to fit in with the other crowds because they feel like this is the only way to do it, or I gotta act like I'm from here and I'm not from there. And this
This is
whole
the
time,
right way.
it's the
This is
right way.
professionalism. Yeah.
Exactly. And the whole time I'm sitting back shaking my head like, oh my God. So when I really tell people like when you see my growth through the military and you see like, damn, this dude made sergeant first class in 9 years. Like if you could talk to my platoon sergeants, if you could talk to my squad leaders, they'll tell you Dougie has been the same person since a PFC that he is now. He's always spoken up. He's always told you how he felt. If he felt like it was wrong, he'll pull you to the side and he'll be like, hey, son, explain to me why we're doing this. Because I've always been that person to stand on that because of that background of being a Omega Psi Phi member. Because one of our cardinal principles, our first cardinal principle, is manhood. Because at the end of the
Mm,
day, we can go back and forth all day, but you're not gonna disrespect my manhood. I'm not gonna bow down to fit in some stereotype you want me to fit into. I'm not
yeah.
gonna do dip just because 95% of the platoon dip. I'm not gonna smoke cigarettes because 99% of the platoon smoke cigarettes. I don't
Yep.
have to do it that way. I'm me. I'm going to do it my way. And if you don't like it, then fire me. And I had a platoon sergeant that was big on that. If I'm gonna put the stripes on your chest and you're not gonna be you and stand up for soldiers and you're afraid to get in trouble because you're protecting something, give me the stripes back. Why are you even wearing them? Don't even
That's
wear them.
real.
Don't wear them.
That is very real. That is very real. And as we go through our career and we see people go up through the ranks, their culture starts to shed.
Yep.
They are less of the person that they used to be. It's not a
Yep.
lot of people like me, like you, like Hamilton, like Hayes, as you
Mhm.
get further and further up the chain. But then it's like look at the hits that we got to take when we just feel like this. We just got to continue being ourselves. I do it because I don't want a soldier to see me and think that they got to change who they are in
Right.
order to
Right.
get to the next. If I stay at E7 the rest of my career, all because I chose to stay true to who I am 100% fine with that.
Me too.
I wasn't supposed to make it this far, no way.
And you know what, Camo? I'm happy that you said that because I literally told one of my mentees that the other day because he asked me. He said he was like, "Hey, son," he like, "I just want to let you know that I understand that you're going through a lot when it comes to like your personal life, but I just want to let you know you're one of you're one of the biggest people I look up to." And I told, and he was like, how do you feel about if it takes you to lose this profession because you're holding on to something that's protecting you?" And I told him, I said, "Listen, bro, the way I see it, every day that I'm at this rank is a blessing because hell, people told me I wasn't even supposed to make staff sergeant. I was
Come
supposed
on, man.
they told me I was gonna be kicked out before I even became a sergeant. I would never be a sergeant in their military. That's what they told me.
Mm-hmm.
So every day that I'm breathing with this these double rockers up under my chest, hey, I'm smiling. You know
It's
what
a
I'm saying?
win. It's a win. Every day is an extra day.
Every day is an
That's how I
extra.
look at it. And
Absolutely.
this is why I'm so and we gonna double back to leadership, man. Like if you had to describe your leadership style, like in a few words, like what would you say? Like what would you consider your leadership style to be?
Uh Man, it's it's hard, bro. I'm gonna just say it goes back to being I'm not one of them. Like I'm just different.
Mm.
I understand first off, I understand respect.
Mm.
I understand respect because the lifestyle that I grew up in, I've seen respect take people lives, right?
Come on, man.
So if you talk to a soldier and they tell you they spoke to me, they'll tell you how I talk to them. I called them brother. I'm not trying to belittle them. Now, if I need to get on your ass, I'm not gonna get on your ass, I'm gonna get on your ass. But I
But
don't
that's
have
the
to do it.
accountability piece of
Yeah,
leadership.
right. Right. And then but that's the thing too. I'm gonna get on your ass and I'm gonna mentor you to why I'm getting on your ass. And I used to
Mm.
tell my BLC students all the time, if you ever see Sergeant First Class Staff Sergeant Douglas at the time walk through this door and my uniform turning gray and my boots look dirty, I want you to pull me to the side. Hey, Sergeant, hey man, look, your uniform looking ate up. You know what I'm saying? Roger that. I'll fix it tomorrow. I'm gonna come in there with a new
Mm-hmm.
uniform because I'm not above reproach. I'm not above reproach. So
Mm-hmm.
I will say I understand respect. That's number one. We're gonna respect each other regardless what our ranks are. I
Yeah.
understand what it means to be humble. I understand humility. And then last but not least, I understand a sense of honor, bro. And that's and
Mm.
that's just who I am, bro.
People, I'm so glad you said honor, man, because that's one of the things that a lot of people just overlook when it comes to the military. Honor, pride, being within something and making and feeling like this is one of the most important things in your life.
Right.
Honoring it. You know what I'm saying? So when it comes to like army values and things like that, man, like what you so would you say honor is your biggest, most important army value? That
So
is
if
army
you
value, right? Leadership,
yeah,
LD, yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Honor. Yeah.
So if you ask me what's my biggest one, my biggest one is loyalty. That's my
Mm,
biggest one. Because not only am I going to be loyal to you, I want you to be loyal to me, right?
that's
And
real.
as long as we're loyal to each other, I feel like just that word loyalty within itself, it means that we're going to hold each other accountable. I'm loyal to Camo to the point where Camo, I'm not going to sit here and smile in your face and tell you that what you're doing is right, knowing that's going to get you scuffed up when you go around somebody else. I'm gonna just be like, hey man, look, Camo, man, look, that didn't sound good the way you put that, brother. Like like
Yeah.
it's your content, do whatever you want to, but it just didn't sound right, right? Yeah, that's
And,
my
and, and that's what we need though.
yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's definitely loyalty, man. It's definitely loyalty.
I agree. I think loyalty might be my biggest army value as well because it's what got me so far in life. When
Right.
I'm when
Yep.
I'm loyal to a person, when I'm loyal to a thing, when I'm loyal to something, I give it my all. Like people try to confuse loyalty with blind leadership.
Yeah.
Oh, you supposed to accept whatever I do, whenever I do it, however I do it, and don't
Nah,
say anything. Oh man, you fake. But it's like, no, I'm not only am I loyal to you, I'm loyal to your future and the
absolutely.
person that I need you to become in order. Because just imagine if the people in the street stay loyal to you and you stay loyal to the streets. Like you, where would the growth be? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like the streets is in you. It's not
Yep.
who you are.
Yep.
All the
Absolutely.
thing you take the good and you leave the bad, and that's where you are. But I know so many people in the streets, and I see them, and I'm like, bro, this is not what you're supposed to be doing. But yet they got so much loyalty to people doing this, to people doing that, that they don't see a way out. I think, especially when it comes to the military, man, we got to start changing the language and the definition of these things, man. But loyalty is one of those things. No matter where you are, it's only going
But
to mean one thing.
you know how we do it though?
Hmm.
People like you. You see what you're doing? You see what we're doing right now, right?
Right.
So I had this conversation with, I'm not gonna say the person's name because I had a conversation the other day with an individual, right? And they told me this is what they said to me. They said, "Why do you always go back and forth with Barry Bull? You're giving him the time of day when all you got to do is block him." And this is
Hmm.
what I told him. I said, "Yeah, you're right. All I got to do is block him. But guess what? It still allows him to paint the narrative that black service members are the issue and that we are the ones with discipline problems, and it makes it look like to his audience we are the only one with discipline problems. But the powerful thing about social media, TikTok, podcast is that now these people that he's putting up here to make look like the issue and how he's screenshotting your video to spin his narrative on it without telling them the whole story. This
Hmm.
right here allows us to tell our side of the story. It allows
Oh
us to
hell yes.
repaint that picture back to saying, hey, I understand that what he said about this situation, but at the end of the day, he didn't show y'all the whole thing. For an example, he put me up there on the video I made when I said about the black officers, I was like, because they're a bunch of little bees, the B
Yeah,
word,
yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah.
But the
Mm-hmm.
reason why, but right after that, I said, nah, I'm just joking, right? And I said, nah, let's be honest, right? But he didn't say that. He screenshot and was like, yeah, the first thing that this senior NCO did, he got up here and said that black officers are a bunch of B words. Can you believe that he said that?
What
Never
do you
said that.
guys think about this? Like,
E-
man,
e- Exactly. But now, when you got these conversations and you got people like you that are going back saying, okay, you posted him that way, boom, I'm gonna take your screenshot with your face on it, that video on it, and now I'm gonna do my topic on it and I'm gonna
yes.
respin it. No, this is
Mm-hmm.
not the way it looks. But now let's look at Barry Bull. Why didn't he say nothing about these Marines dancing and shaking booty in uniform holding their cards up? He said he liked the song. Song got
Yes.
N-words in it and everything. He likes it, right? Now we get to
Mm-hmm.
fight back. That's why they don't like people like you with your voice. Why? Because
Yeah.
now you get to reshape that narrative. And as long as you
Yes.
turn your back from it and let him do it, he's going to keep doing it. He's going to keep growing. He's going to
And,
keep
and,
growing.
and that's what I had to learn. Like, come on, like, and then like Bear Bull has a very racist audience. That is not a secret. That is not something I'm making up. That's somebody. That's something people can just go look and see, right? And
Absolutely.
yeah, it's easy to say you're supposed to just because I ain't gonna lie, I blocked them. I don't that type of shit is just not. It's a headache for me, right?
Right.
But it's easy to block them and forget about it. But like you said, that opens up the door for him to do it to other people, and it
Yep.
looks as if we gave up. Like we
Yep.
can never. Like I'm starting to learn. I can never be too big to check somebody. I
Absolutely.
can never be too important to check somebody, especially when I
Absolutely.
know that they wrong.
Absolutely.
So I love that, like, man, despite where you at and who you are and everything that you stand for, this is why I said you are willing to go so high but still willing to go so low.
Yep.
You willing to
Absolutely.
step off that throne and go talk to those peasants and say, no, hell no, this ain't what it is and this ain't what it gonna be. You know what I'm
Exactly.
saying? And we need people like you, man, and I'm glad that you able to do it 100% genuine as you are. Soldiers can see you and see themselves. Soldiers can hear you and hear themselves and say, well, this is the way I should conduct myself. Because I can't say, even if I go back a couple of videos, I can't see from my perspective that you did anything wrong or you are doing anything wrong. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? Like I can't look at you and say, man, this is a horrible leader just talking. No, you saying what you got to say, but you carry yourself in a way that demands the respect of the things that you are saying.
Right.
So when
Exactly.
it comes to like you not being one of them, you being unfuckwittable and all that type of stuff, like what does the future look like for you?
Man.
Well, I know it's probably kind of undecided with the beard thing and all that
Yeah,
going,
yeah,
but
yeah, yeah, yeah. So yeah, man, I 100% don't know because they did this weird thing at the unit already to where they ruffled up all the black people. They put us all in a room, gave us a presentation. They had people in there that ain't never had a shaking profile.
a little
So
corral.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So they did a little roundup
Yeah.
talking about, this is the policy. If you decide not to follow the treatment plan, you're gonna get an administrative step. But if you get to the last step and then it doesn't work, you get a med board or whatever, blah blah blah. And I had already told my PA, I was like, hey sir, look, I'm gonna let y'all know now. You might want to go and start my admin step, right? Because
Hmm.
I ain't doing it. But if you want to be, if I want to be honest, man. I really 100% don't know because at the end of the day, I'm gonna tell you how you know the beard is not an issue for me, brother. I'm Muslim. I could have easily got. I
Oh
could have
yeah.
easily got a religious. I can easily get I can get a religious accommodation tomorrow if I wanted to. But
Yeah.
I never felt the need to use my religion to try to get a beard because it's not about the beard. It was something that just protected me medically. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So
for sure.
I really 100% don't know. I just hope I can keep inspiring soldiers. I can keep fighting for soldiers. I can keep trying to repaint that narrative to show people that it's people that don't want us in these ranks, man, and they sitting in those seats and they really don't like us. And I hate the fact that we don't want to talk about it because we're so afraid to, ruffle somebody's feathers or go against the grain. Because, like I said, we're worried about our careers, but we get on this app and we're crying, we're complaining about this is happening, we're losing this position, we're losing this OER. But then my thing is, okay, and what the hell are we doing about it?
Come on, man. When, when,
What are
when
we
I
doing
when
about
I
it?
went through that little spell, when I was talking about race and all that type of stuff, man, the narrative got spun so fast on me to the point where people calling me racist, people saying this. I'm like, man, I got 3 videos talking about what it is to be black in the military for me.
Right.
I got 100 other videos just talking about random stuff, but that is how easy it is to get pinpointed for things that people don't want to hear. But what I can say is when I was speaking on that and I did get the attention that I got, I know I was headed in the right direction.
Absolutely.
Because for all the 10 people that was calling me racist, it was one that was like, man, thank you for speaking up. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? And at the end, sometimes the one have more value than the 10. You know what I'm
And,
saying?
I'm gonna tell you the secret. I'm gonna tell you some things. I'm gonna tell you something that I never expose certain names. The people that'll tell you that thank you for speaking up. Some of the people that's in my inbox are command sergeant majors. Hey, I've been wanting to say this for years, but in the position that I am, I can't say this. I really like the way
Man.
you professionally and tactfully put it. Like, yes, people that are in leadership positions right now, sergeant majors, lieutenant colonels. If I showed you my inbox, you'd be like, damn. And I'd be wanting to ask them, why don't you say it? But I know why. Because, like I said, we're worried about our position, but you're the one that's in the room. You're in the
Right.
room that I'm trying to get into.
Mm. Man, the military, man, is just the culture of it is such a bro, it's so widespread, but it is so specific at all. Because look at us, we E7s, E6s, and all of these. We on the internet talking about beers and how it affects us. And you got Command Sergeant Major, Lieutenant Colonel saying, "I wish I would have said that,"
Yeah,
but you
yeah.
can. You know what I'm saying? But this is what I love about this new regime of the military, man. Like we aren't like I came into the era where you needed to be in the military, right? You came in
Absolutely.
because this was going to be your job. But now these new soldiers, because I think about Tim Two Official a lot, man. Like he accomplished and built so much on the civilian side in one career.
Right,
Soldiers
right,
now
right.
don't need the military to survive and give stability and all that type of stuff. So we can say the things that should have been said years ago.
Yep,
So I,
yep.
I think we are truly headed in the right direction. And why you still here, why I'm still here, why all of these other seeing like this is why I feel like meal talk is so important, man, because we are saying things that can be said and spread out so far. It doesn't matter what I say in that room if nobody's gonna hear.
Absolutely.
I can be in that room and get silenced. You know what I'm saying? But at least when it comes to meal talk, I have the space and the platform to be able to say like, I understand what y'all going through. I'm dealing with it. This is how I feel about it. The
Hmm.
transparency that comes with being up in the ranks, man, is so refreshing. Because when I was coming up, I didn't have seeing leaders talking this type of stuff because they only cared about their career.
Me too.
They
Yep.
didn't care that my face was wrapped up. You know what I'm saying? You just gotta shave. It is what it
Yep.
is. You
It
know what
is
I'm
what
saying?
it is.
And I'm all for playing the game. But when it comes at the detriment of my health, my leadership, and the visibility that I have with soldiers, I just can't do it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I would
No.
hate for a soldier to look at me and be like, that ain't you. That ain't you, Big Sarge. You know what I'm saying? I stayed genuine to who I am and it got me this far. So I'm doing something right.
Yeah, you're right. And that's powerful. And that's what and Camo, that's real leadership.
Mm.
Not tech. It ain't no textbook. It ain't no definition that you learn from a college classroom. It ain't something that someone say, I think you should do it this way. No, you did it your way. That's leadership. Because
Yeah.
all being a good leader is just having the people to follow you. Like, and I used to tell my BLC students this, right? I used to ask them when we talked about the difference between what I learned was people really don't know the difference between a leader and leadership. They flip the two
Mm.
up, right? So I would ask them, I would say, do y'all think Hitler was a good leader? And a lot of them will say, no, he
Mm.
did da 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 da. And I said, you're explaining his leadership. I asked you if he was a good leader. Because a good leader, when you look at by the definition, all it is by anyone by rank, virtue, or command that's in a position to oversee something. Look
Yeah.
at what this man did for the entire. Look at how he got these people to follow him. Now, whether it was right, wrong, and different, right? Take that away from it.
Mm-hmm.
Look how many people followed him to carry out the things that he wanted them to do. Now, whether you thought they did it out of fear, regardless of what it is, as a leader, to them, he was a good leader. Now, his leadership style might have been different, but
Yeah.
to them, he was a great ass leader. He was a great
Yeah.
leader. So,
Perspective.
and yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Perspective. Cause somebody listen to what you saying and be like, this is how they flip the narrative. Oh, look at Sergeant First Class Douglas. He said he read Hitler's book, Mein Kampf, and said he's the greatest leader of all time. You know what I'm saying? They'll spin it on you so quick, but man, like for you to say that, you know what I'm saying? Knowing of like we gotta be willing to say the bad, even if it's wrapped up in a good message.
Absolutely.
We can't be scared of how people will spin things, right? Because we
Absolutely.
can't leave anything out for the sake of well, they might think this. Because
Hmm.
if we really want to talk about leadership and everything that it entails, there will never be a class on leadership where they won't bring up Hitler, where they
Nope.
won't bring up Jesus. You get what I'm
Yep.
saying? So if we, I'm just thankful that you're one of those people that are willing to have the real conversation and say the real things, no matter how it may be taken. And I
Right.
know I probably went out the deep end with that, but it's like you when you
Nah.
said it, it kind of clicked. And I'm like, man, somebody could think this, but you didn't say anything wrong because at the end of the day, he had millions of people follow him. If that is not the makings of a good leader, whatever your definition of one is, what
That's what I'm
is?
saying. Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly. And that's what I said. That's why when you look at some of these words, like when we talk about leadership, professionalism, when we talk about that, that's all just in the eyes of who's saying it.
yeah.
Because
Perspective. It's subjective.
Ca- yeah, because Camo can see one person say, "Oh man, I think your haircut look professional." Then I can see the person say, "Nah, that don't look professional."
Yeah, that
Who's
ain't
right?
it. Yeah,
Who's right?
yeah.
What did like who's right?
If people like to say, what does the black and white say? The black and white is full of gray area. That's
It
where
is.
when it comes to regulation, you maneuver through the gray area.
Yep.
Like one person can see one thing, like one person can see six, I can see nine. You get what I'm saying? Where is it from my perspective, my upbringing, my culture, however I see it? Me being black, if I see a black person with the spongy hair, right?
Yep.
As
Hmm.
long as it's lined up, it's taped up, that's professional to me. A
Yep.
person who don't understand the culture will look at that and be like, "Go do something with your hair."
Exactly.
This is why I tell people all the time, man. Like we can't we can't not see color. We can't not see culture. I don't subscribe by that mentality of we're all green because that African soldier can't be talked to the same way I got to talk to that Mexican soldier. That Mexican soldier don't ain't gonna take the same leave that that African soldier gonna take. So I'm a firm believer. I have to see you for who you
Got
are,
to. Got to.
and I hate when folks try to because that's lazy leadership. Oh, I'm just gonna treat
It
y'all
is.
all the same. No, that one female soldier might just had a miscarriage. You gonna talk to her the
Mhm.
same way you gonna talk to the one who just had a beautiful child.
Right.
So we got to be able to look at things from that way, man. And I honestly think you got it, man. Like
Yeah.
regardless of where your military career ends, you still gonna be out there in the world doing for community, doing for us, doing for the people that need to be done for, right?
Yeah.
So before we close out, man, I just want to say, man, what do you have to say to soldiers and future leaders out there, man?
Man, I'm gonna say always stay true to who you are.
Mm,
Don't think about what it means to just be in the military. And I understand that we have to follow policies and rules and regulations, like I get it, but at some point in time as a leader we have to sit back and look at which of these policies that we need to fight together to change when it's affecting certain demographics, right? Because it's
mm.
easy to put a demographic on a policy and say, oh yeah, well that's just a policy, it is what it is. But if you have those individuals that are willing to fight with you because they understand the culture, they understand what you're going through, they understand the sensitive needs to your medical situations. And then I hate when people get on there and they say, well, you know what you was joining the military for,
Oh
so why
man,
don't
come
you
on,
just
man,
do it,
don't piss
right?
me off.
So I tell them like this. So I tell them like this. Okay, so say for an example, if I say Camo, I'm your recruit. Hey Camo, you can join the military right now. You got 8 fingers because you're missing 2 digits. I say you
Mm-hmm.
can join the military right now, and we can give you a waiver for your 2 missing fingers. Now you join the military, you're happy, you're able to get this opportunity, you're doing this, and then all of a sudden, six years later, Staff Sergeant Camo thinking that he's about to make Sergeant First Class, and then we come out with a policy to say, hey, you know what? Change our mind. We're no longer going to have a policy that allows you to have 8 fingers. Now you need all 10 digits. Now, do I sit there and say, well, you knew what you was joining
Yeah.
for? No,
Oh
no,
man,
no,
man.
no, no. Because when I joined you, you gave me I had medical protection. You feel me? So,
Yeah, hold up for a minute. Hold up.
You hear me?
Yeah, yeah, I hear you.
Yeah. I don't know what that was, but yeah, man. That very extreme point, but
Right,
a very great point. Because
right.
sometimes you got to simplify it. You
Yep,
got to be able to put it in a way that everybody understands. Everybody might not have PFB, but everybody
yep,
got fingers.
yep.
You know what I'm saying?
And see, and that what I'm saying. So
Yeah.
now, Camo didn't join because he knew what he was getting into. Camo joined because Camo had a policy that medically protected him that allowed him to serve. So why would you be mad at Camo now when Camo tells you that he don't want to go through this extensive surgery or this treatment to give him two
Oh,
fake fingers when he's been doing his job to the best of his ability and outperforming those with 10 fingers already?
yeah.
Now all of a sudden you put the blame at Camo like it's his fault, like he knew that he was coming into this. All right.
Man, you
But hey,
100% on the money with that.
but I'm gonna tell you one more thing about conforming before I get off here. And like I said, I like to talk real. So when I
Yeah.
was I really didn't take a real actual African American literature class until I got to college, to where
Mm,
I actually exposed everything about these great leaders that we call leaders, right? Like Martin Luther King.
right.
And one thing that my professor talked to us about one day was he brought up the fact of conforming to society, and he brought up the fact of Martin Luther King's "I Have a Dream" speech. Because as you notice, during Black History Month, we're big to play his speech and how it brought us all together, and we're this one big happy family
Yeah.
because he conformed. He wanted everybody to be together, right?
That's the
But what
speech of
it
integration.
Exact. It's a speech of integration. But what they don't talk about is the speech that he made in later years, where he talked about how that speech became a nightmare for him because what
Mm,
it did was it made us lose not only our culture, it made us lose the things that we had for ourselves. We had our own banking systems, we had our own schools, we had our own communities, we had our own police forces. Our financial situation was so good, our economic system was outdoing those of our white counterparts, and
mm-hmm.
we got rid of that by wanting to conform so bad to where we lost our originality. That's why when I tell people to stay true to themselves, man, that's why it's important. Because yeah, you might all the way conform to this policy, and then guess what they're coming for next? The ponytails,
Yeah.
the
Oh man,
nails.
that's why I always say, where does it stop? This, like even when it started with the transgender, right? I was like, that is nothing but the test subject right there. Once that happened and it went through, I said, what's next? What's
Yep,
next? They did the beard. Oh, now the Navy doing lashes, baby hairs. It's like at some point the military is gonna look one way,
it's
and
coming.
it's not
It's
gonna
coming.
be us. You know what I'm saying?
It's
So
coming. Come on,
I,
it's
I,
coming.
I yeah, I agree, and I'm glad that we got people that still willing to speak up, whatever time they have left. You know what I'm saying?
Right, right.
So man, I appreciate you, man. I truly, and it was a great conversation with
Oh
no
yeah,
questions,
absolutely,
just let it flow. Now,
absolutely.
I will say it was a lot of blurry spots, so we got to do it again. I need you to do it again with me now.
Okay, oh yeah,
Yeah,
hey, all you gotta
yeah.
do is hit me up, tell me what we're doing, and I'm down for it, brother.
Say no more, man. I thank you, man, once again for joining, man, having this conversation. Just put me on game about
Oh
a
yeah,
lot of things, man, and offering that perspective that not only soldiers need, but humans need, man.
yep,
So thank you,
absolutely.
man. I appreciate you, man. And until next time, man, thank you.
Hey, appreciate you, brother.
All right.